As Airbnb continues to get bigger, you might be wondering how you can build a business around this platform. We've now got most people going straight to Airbnb before they start traveling. But one common misconception is that you have to own property to create Airbnb income. But I'm here to tell you right now, that is completely false. And one way around the risk of buying and holding properties is with Airbnb rental arbitrage. If you don't know what that means, I have you covered. Because in this video, I'll explain how to make money with Airbnb arbitrage for beginners. And this is completely without owning any property. But if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on our weekly real estate content. Now, let's get started. What should you know about Airbnb? Airbnb is a very well-known platform market leader in the short-term rental industry. When people think of hotels or resorts as the only options for a stay, Airbnb came into the picture and completely transformed the dynamics of the rental world. And just recently, many big and small real estate investors have shown a ton of interest in Airbnb arbitrage. It helps set up your business without much investment and enables you to obtain a good amount of profit. Even with Airbnb arbitrage, this platform provides you with an opportunity in which the revenue potential is much higher than the investment requirements. And if you play your cards right, the rental income will surely be higher than the traditional long-term leasing option. So what is the need for Airbnb arbitrage? Airbnb is a great platform for everyone who requires a short-term place to stay. Hotels situated in high-traffic places charge a ton of money. They try to leverage their local advantages to maximize their profits. This is where Airbnb arbitrage comes into the picture. A potential landlord can rent both their leased and owned places in such demanding regions. However, you always need to remember to check the rates of nearby hotels as well. This is because the tourist will definitely choose a better and more affordable option if you charge higher rates. One thing you also might be wondering is if the new Airbnb arbitrage is legal, right? Well, don't worry. Airbnb rental arbitrage is totally legal. That is depending on the short-term rental regulations where you live. The short-term rental laws are evolving in most large cities across the world. So do your research first. You will want to make sure that rental options like Airbnb are allowed in the city you are interested in, or that there is not a limited number of nights yearly in that area. And in case vacation rentals are allowed in your area, you will also have to check if your city, township, state, or even a province will require you to apply for a hospitality license to get started. After that, you should make sure that the landlord you are renting the property from allows short-term and also the vacation rental arbitrage. Many landlords explicitly have said that in their leases, that this is not permitted or is only allowed on a case-by-case basis. You need to always check with your landlord before subletting your apartment, or you can put yourself at risk of getting evicted. We want to avoid any minor problems which can potentially rise. But don't worry, just make sure to watch our video on how to convince any landlord to sublease their property in our Airbnb playlist. Then, once you have an agreement with your landlord, you need to be sure that you are protected and covered in the case of damages, any sort of injury on your property, or sometimes even natural disasters. Not to mention, Airbnb offers host protection insurance to get you started, or you can browse some of the other options for guest screening and insurance. What are the benefits of Airbnb arbitrage? There is no doubt that Airbnb arbitrage is quickly gaining traction and becoming a popular way to earn income. Its many advantages are quite obvious, such as the possible profit you can earn. And in addition, the freedom is unmatched when subletting Airbnb properties. You do not have to be a property owner, and this is a pro of the business model. A person who sublets Airbnb properties in most cases can earn about 1.5 to 3 times the price of the property's rent. The profits can reach even higher levels depending on location. If you have multiple properties, this profit will only continue to rise. It is essential to have good business sense and follow all of the necessary rules and regulations. This is vital in allowing an Airbnb arbitrage to be a successful business venture. Also, as a property manager, you are basically answering to the property owners. This role may be salary-based or a small percentage of the monthly rent. You will have much more freedom and creativity with Airbnb arbitrage than you would have as a property manager. When you sublease Airbnb properties, you are your own boss. It is up to you to keep track of your guests as well as the property utilities. And not to mention, because the nightly rate is often drastically higher than the monthly rental rate, it's good to know that 100% occupancy is not required to earn a profit. What type of property should I use? You have several options when deciding what type of property to use for Airbnb arbitrage. You can rent a property from a friend or family member and then sublet it on Airbnb. Of course, you can rent out a property you already own, or even a spare bedroom. Finally, you can find a totally new property to sublet. Which location should I choose? It's important to remember that the amount of income you will be able to make is mainly dependent on the property's location. Big cities with many tourist attractions are typically the most profitable. It also helps when your listing is near grocery stores and public transportation, rather than those on the outskirts of town. However, you should be able to make at least a little bit of extra cash, regardless of the location. And we all know that travelers are always looking for a place to spend the night. And if you can offer a lower price point than the hotels in the area, you are very likely to get some consistent bookings on a weekly basis. Now, you must always talk with the landlord. I cannot express how vital it is to have a chat with your landlord up front. Let them know that you are planning to use your apartment or other property as an Airbnb. Some landlords won't allow this at all, so it's best to have this conversation before you sign the lease. And to make this deal even sweeter, you could even offer to share a percentage of your profits with your landlord. You also need to make sure to get any agreements in writing to avoid possible legal issues in the future. Travelers are losing interest in the classic but impersonal hotel room. Now they gravitate toward Airbnb properties that are more like a home away from home. When it comes to Airbnb, the guest experience is always the #1 priority. Taking time to decorate and offering basic groceries and other simple supplies are great ways to help aid in receiving fantastic reviews. Aside from basic furnishings, some simple tricks will greatly add to the quality of your listing. You can provide toiletries, such as towels, soap, and refreshments. These small and inexpensive additions to your property will add lots of value to your guests. These types of amenities give your guests all the basics they need to shower and get ready in the morning. Airbnb rental arbitrage is a great option if you are looking to make some extra cash. The upsides of choosing to sublease Airbnb properties are the profits, freedom, and the fact that you don't have to be a property owner to start up this business venture. What are the drawbacks of Airbnb arbitrage? When you are deciding how to start a retail arbitrage, don't forget that there are some drawbacks to subletting Airbnb properties. These include possible evictions, various laws and regulations, startup costs, and unpredictable market conditions. When you sublease Airbnb properties, always discuss your plans with your landlord. And to make sure your guests are relaxed and comfortable, you can try transforming your property into a home away from home. Just give this video a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any more of our upcoming videos. But if you're serious about starting your very own Airbnb arbitrage business, do not wait. Click on this video next where we will break down from start to finish how you need to get started. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there.